we lime, come let we vibe, lime vibe. Lime vibe.
Good night, everybody, and welcome once again to another LimeVibe Live podcast. I'm your host, the benevolent commander-in-chief, Yori Arman-Kemp from Nassau, Bahamas, along with Ms. Kimberly Ramkalama from Trinidad and Tobago, who joined us again this evening. How you doing tonight, Kimberly?
I am trying my best.
Yeah. We missed you on Wednesday, man, but I hope you're okay now.
I am still not out of it. I actually did horrible on that test, and they're going to put me through some more vigorous testing on Monday. And
On Monday, wow.
it has to be done ahead of Wednesday when there's another procedure.
Oh, wow. Okay, we wish you all the best. We're praying for you, Kim. We hope you're going to be okay. We know you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
So
right now we've got the challenges of some back-to-back weather systems because it's very rainy, and I think I would have shared with you that while no official alert has been put out for the Lesser Antilles, there's a strong tropical wave that is forecast to affect us over this weekend. It's been very cloudy and dark. It's producing a good bit of rainfall. It was very thundery for this entire afternoon, and it's expected to affect most of the Lesser Antilles, Grenada, St. Vincent and Grenadines, Barbados going up. And if you look at the weather map, if you happen to see one, you would see several systems coming, one after the other. There's at least 4 systems in the Atlantic.
Oh, yeah, I saw those. Yeah. And 2 are far up. They're closer to the coast of Africa, and they're heading this way, actually.
Yes. And they've given the second one 40% chance of becoming a tropical storm. Now, this tropical wave that they're forecasting to affect us this weekend, they're saying that too is expected to form into a tropical storm after it has passed into the Western Atlantic, and it's supposed to head up to the United States, where it's called to become a hurricane at some time later this week, next week.
Wow. So we got the hurricanes in the area. But this is the time, though, between September to about, let's say, November is the time they really start to form, and we get the real brunt of the hurricane season.
Yeah, but I think it's coming a little more frequent. And if it's coming this frequent in August, can you imagine what's going to happen when it's supposed the peak season in September and October?
Oh, yeah. I hope that we don't get a severe storm like how we did for the last 3 years or so. But we got to keep on praying, Kim. We got to pray these storms away,
We do.
Yeah. So how's the Trinidad preparing for it? They're putting on any special warnings, or they're just going to ride it out?
Not as yet. Our Met service has been known to be late. Right? I'm not sure. Sometimes I look at the Barbados Met service to see what they're saying as well. So
yeah. Okay.
Nothing has been official yet, but they have told us to give us some gusty winds.
Okay. I know you guys can take any more flooding.
No, we can't. This week we've had some already.
Some nasty flooding.
Yeah.
Have they started to address that yet, or is this that they're just waiting for the season to die down?
What's that? The flooding?
Yeah, address some of the drainage systems in some parts of that.
They've been trying.
Okay.
I saw Barbados put out an information statement, at least on a tropical wave. And they gave the position where it is as of 5 p.m. this evening. So at least Barbados is taking the initiative.
Yeah, you got to be proactive on this, but you don't want to be caught with your pants down. That's what happened in Dorian back in 2019 here in the Bahamas. People gave warnings. They gave ample time to evacuate certain areas. And they told people in the low-lying areas to really get out of the way, and they didn't do it. And then hundreds of people died. Hundreds of people died in Abaco. Mostly illegal Haitian immigrants, right? But still, though, they're still people. They're still God's people. They just did not listen to the warnings. They did not want to leave those shanty towns. They did not want to leave the higher ground, and they ended up dying, being washed away in flood. So we don't want that to happen in Trinidad or Barbados.
No, we don't. But I think Barbados also learned its lesson back in sometime last year, June, when they had that freak storm. And I think it was last year or year before. I think it was year before. And that storm caught them in the middle of the night. and it just formed, and it caused it wreaked havoc in the northwestern part of the island.
Yeah, I
So
think it was last year. Yeah.
yeah, Barbados Met Service says they said that that's not going to happen. I think Mia gave them a warning. Don't let that happen again, you know?
Yeah. Be on alert. Be on guard,
Yeah.
man.
Now
You
in
know?
Trinidad and Tobago, our Doppler radar has been down for several years. And
What?
yeah, the radar that usually picks up on these things has been down. So
Wow.
well, the Met Service says that they're looking at something in the Central Atlantic. They haven't said anything with regard to that tropical wave that is anticipated to give us some bad weather. Other local weather sites have forecast and put out warnings that, hey, be on alert. This weekend it's going to be very wet. It's going to be very rainy. Some said it's actually very the instability index is very red.
Wow.
And I know some people actually speak out against these other weather networks, but these guys, they are experienced meteorologists. They've studied abroad, they've studied locally, they've even worked in our local Met Service. And, you know, it's to at least alert the population. If we can't rely on our Met Service, we need to rely on our weather forecasters that work independently.
Yes. Someone who can give you some accurate information, because you can't be out there. Yeah, you can't be out there with flying blind in these times, man. You just can't be doing it. You know, these storms are getting stronger and stronger every year, Kim.
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks ago we had a tornado in Trinidad. 2 weeks ago we got sudden rainfall that kind of brought the city of San Fernando to a halt for that entire weekend. And I don't want to see that happening again.
No, you don't. Absolutely not. But speaking of your government, apparently your prime minister got in some trouble just recently, right?
I'm not sure if he has put out a statement, but it is being felt in Guyana. I don't know why he would have said something like that, but he's known for saying silly things. And the vice president of Guyana has lashed out on him, saying he's even decided to pick on Trinidadian businesses establishing themselves in Guyana right now. So,
yeah, I listened to the statement from Bharat Jagdeo, the vice president of Guyana, right? Yeah, he was talking kind of spicy against Trinidad, man. He's talking hella spicy, man, telling Raleigh to back off. First, he started off saying that he doesn't want to get back into a back and forth. Then he got right into a back and forth. he told Raleigh that a lot of Trinidadian businesses are in Guyana and they have to send money, foreign exchange from Guyana to other countries because they can't send from Trinidad. Well, that's kind of a low blow, man. You know, the Guyanese are really getting really spicy now since that oil money started rolling, you know, Kim. Guyanese are getting real spicy since that oil money is coming in there, Kim.
But the thing is, Trinidad politicians, especially Prime Minister Rowley, has been known to say things against Guyana in recent years.
So what does he have against Guyana?
I'm not sure. Everyone, I don't know if he looks down on Guyana, and he should not, you know.
But we support Guyana here on this show. You know, we believe that oil money is going to do wonders for Guyana. I believe I'm going to move to Guyana once that oil money really starts rolling there.
Really? I don't think they've got a lot of infrastructural issues to still resolve. Yeah. And I mean, yes, the oil money is there, but it's going to take some time before you see things happen. And also, you have to also think of how welcoming they are going to be to foreign nationals.
Well, but they have everything there for the CARICOM in Guyana. They have the CARICOM headquarters. Yes, they have a lot of regional agencies.
But it's a matter of you being able to. I mean, they're going to put priority on their people first.
Yeah, I know.
Before anyone.
But money and skills talk. You know, Kim. Money and skills talk. When you come there with either a skill or you have money behind you, they're going to want to do business with you. So I mean, I understand that. So yeah,
I've actually listened to some people who have done business with Guyana, and it's not all that glitters is not gold. I will say that much.
Oh Lord.
Right. The salaries, the wages that are being offered is not necessarily at the standard that we are used to.
That's going to change. That's going to change. And this is the exciting time for it, you know. to see it change, to see it go from one thing to the next, go from strength to strength. This is the time that is the building stage is the most exciting stage, because this is where all the opportunities are. Not when everything's finished, but right now when things are really getting up there and people are starting to put the cogs in place and getting that country back on track. This is the exciting and opportunity time right now. This is the time when you actually go into Guyana and you actually make a mint.
I wouldn't say so, because I've actually had a few friends that have gone across there as consultants, and it has not been all that pleasant. And they're big ministerial people. They're people that are welcomed around the world. And it's not been the same. I'll tell you that.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
So don't, as I said, all that glitters is not gold. Right?
Chinese. They're mean-spirited people at
No,
heart.
they're looking out for their own people, and I give them rights.
I don't blame them. Yeah.
We've had this conversation several times before, and last year there was an issue with them actually going against some principles of CARICOM, which allows for free movement of trade and facilitating of fellow businesses within the region. However, their local content policies was not facilitating this when it came to companies looking to register and tap into their energy services industry. One such company actually had a lawsuit, and they decided, okay, we're going to settle when we're actually going to admit that we're wrong.
Okay.
So they're really focusing on local content for now, focusing on building their own sector. Yes, they will take the consultants and see what they can get from you, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can ask for. Yeah, every Caribbean country's protections at heart, but I just hope they don't turn to be mean. I just hope they don't turn to be stinking mean, you know. And they shouldn't be, because we have been very accommodating to Guyanese nationals straight across this Caribbean, from all of their teachers and their nurses and their helps and their maids and their service workers. We've been very accommodating to the Guyanese people, very accommodating. You know, and CARICOM is in Guyana, so they should be the one who should be pushing this integration. They should be the ones at the forefront of this. That's my take. But anyway, yeah. So, has your prime minister made any statement in response to Bharat Jagdeo or no?
I'm not sure if he's said anything. I have not heard any official statement from him on the matter. I'm guessing he may put out something perhaps by Sunday, because I think the statement from Vice President Bharat Jagdeo would have come out sometime yesterday. I think right now he's on a trip to Barbados. They would have actually hosted your prime minister earlier this week for one of these forums. Yes.
That needs to be addressed, man, because Jagdeo was talking really spicy, man. That was some real nasty stuff.
It's not the first time that Bharat Jagdeo has spoken out on statements, and rightfully so. Each country needs to defend itself, right? So, saying those statements are reckless against your own fellow CARICOM neighbor.
Yeah. That's not nice though. It wasn't nice. But then what Prime Minister Rowley said wasn't nice either, you know. But he likened the Trinidad, the Guyanese dollar to being worthless. Essentially, that's what he said. I'm trying to get the actual clip itself, Kim, so people could see what we're talking about. So I think
he actually used the votes in his constituency of Diego Martin. So a local reporter in Trinidad, that they always have some contention with that particular reporter. They seem to always seem to pick on her. She has, I think she has been picked on way too many times. And she asked the question about the validity of the 30,000 votes that was recorded in Diego Martin, and something like that, to that effect. And he said, he equated it to being 30,000. I think it was 30,000 votes more than the PNM. And I said, 30,000 Guyanese dollars. So he equated it to something like that, the votes to the dollars.
Yeah, he shouldn't have said that. That was crass in his part, though. I gotta admit, you know,
it
was very crass.
And he had his comrades from his party supporting him.
Yeah, yes, laughing and giggling up, right?
But
Yes.
I mean, for Bart Jagdeo to come out and say what he said, you're going. It reached that far. This was something that was said on Monday night after the local government elections here in Trinidad.
One thing I realized about Guyanese, they're really protective about that country being insulted. They're really protective over that.
And rightfully so. I mean, I think each country we've heard Barbados being protective of themselves, including Jamaica. So you have to be careful of what you're saying to your fellow CARICOM neighbor.
Yeah, that's a sensitive issue, man. Because everyone knows about Guyana hasn't been the most prosperous country in the Caribbean. Actually, they were just a step above Suriname and Haiti, to be honest with you. And people look down on Guyana.
We're looked down on right now because we're actually looking to find business opportunities outside of Trinidad to get foreign exchange. I believe the whole listing of Massey on the Jamaican Stock Exchange, it is alleged that people have said that the reason they're doing that is because they needed to access US currency.
Yeah.
Right.
I realized that. I found the clip. Let's play the clip. Let's play the clip one time, Kim. Let's play the clip. I mean, let's say so we get exactly what Raleigh had to say.
Corporation like Diego Martin, the NTA would have amassed some over 30,000 votes.
Really? 30,000 votes? Where you got that from? Where you got that from?
That was our information.
The NTA got 30,000 votes?
in Diego Martin.
Guyanese dollars.
I hate this thing when people try to run down our country. Two, I don't want to get into any controversy with Mr. Rowley, because one time I said about we determined to ensure that we don't utilize oil and gas resources the same way that they did, and it got into a big heated controversy in right, thank you. So it got into a controversy there. But every time, sometimes they always use Guyana as an example. And so I saw that, it was sent to me, and it was speaking about local government elections, and then Mr. Rowley said something about, oh, that's like the Guyana dollars, and laugh. Like meaning basically our currency is weak. Japan was the third largest economy in the world. The yen to dollar is over 100 to 1. Doesn't mean Japan's economy is weak. They are over 100 to 1 US dollar. So let them live. The fact remains is that today, a lot of Trinidadian companies now, because of intense foreign currency shortage in Trinidad, and they have exchange controls, which we don't have, because we have an open market, they have a managed market because of shortages. For months and months, people can't get foreign currency in that country. So we notice a trend here is that Trinidadian companies, or some Trinidadian companies, are procuring large quantity of goods for their business in Guyana and in Trinidad, and paying from here, making payments from here to their suppliers. So they're utilizing our foreign currency to make those payments. So I hope Mr. Rowley looks at that too.
Yeah, they have it. We didn't lie on Barack Jagdeo. He's talking hella spicy, man. He hopes Rowley looks at that. So there you have it. So Jagdeo told you, Rowley. As diplomatic as he could sound.
And NTA is Gary Griffith's is his political group, and he was basically trying to throw a low blow at Gary Griffith as well, Dr. Rowley. That's my prime minister.
Yeah, he is. I like Dr. Rowley though, even though sometimes he really gets off the handle though. But didn't Patrick Manning, your former, now deceased Patrick Manning, your former prime minister, say he was like a raging boat? And
Yes.
this is the kind of thing I think Manning was talking about. He says these things and he goes overboard and he makes these comments and these statements, and he's like a bull in a china shop. Yeah, you got to calm down, Prime Minister Rao. You got to calm down. These things are unbecoming of a prime minister to say. You don't disparage or devalue anyone else, man. You don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, as I said, you have to be careful with how you speak to your neighbors, because these are the same people you're going to look to. I mean, the business community, as Vice President Jagdev said, is dependent. Or Chamber of Commerce in Trinidad, their members, the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturing Association, their members are now in Trinidad, in Guyana, building up their business and are dependent on this.
See, they have it. We just talking about that.
Just worse for all local companies trying to invest in another country.
Oh yeah, we just were talking about that. We just were talking about going to Guyana and making some headway down there. We just was talking about that. And now we have Trinidadian firms trying to do the same thing. They're not talking like me. They're actually down there doing it. So yeah, this is really important now, because you wouldn't want, Trinidadian business to be disinvited from Guyana based on Rowley's comments, and based on a Row like. And sometimes these people are really petty, Kim. Sometimes these people are really petty. That one statement could mushroom into a whole lot of other different stuff, man. So I just hope that doesn't, I just hope that they actually hold their peace and cool their heads prevail, and Raleigh doesn't come back and say something else that's incendiary, because it could escalate.
Yeah, I hope he does realize the potential damage he can do.
Yeah.
I mean, we heard when Roosevelt's carrot, the Prime Minister of Dominica, came in Trinidad, and he opened CARICOM, and he said, "Oh, Dr. Raleigh is not so bad. He's not so mean as he comes." And for him to do that as part of his opening speech in CARICOM.
Exactly. In Trinidad, he said that.
Yeah,
in Trinidad.
And Trinidad and Tobago was playing the host of CARICOM, for which Dominica was supposed to host.
Yeah.
He did that, and he said it to his face.
Yeah.
Playing the host, it says volumes as to how you're regarded.
Yeah, it says volumes about Scarrett too, because that was kind of classist by Scarrett as well. He shouldn't have said that.
I think he was throwing a joke. He did it in a jokey way. The way he did it is like, and then he coming to the end, the final press conference, when they were talking about what needs to be done for the West Indies cricket team. And he alluded to how Prime Minister Raleigh comes across very vexed and angry.
Yeah, very sour. Speaking of cricket, though, your cricket league has started, right? The Caribbean cricket league has started, right? The Caribbean cricket league.
It started on Wednesday. It got off with the Jamaica Talawas playing against the Barbados Royals? No. It didn't start.
St. Lucia, right?
St. Lucia. Yeah. And it's St. Lucia Kings, and I think they won. And yesterday we had St. Lucia Kings play against Barbados Royals, which St. Lucia Kings won. Tomorrow the TKR, which is my home team, Trinidad playing against St. Kitts Nevis Patriots.
Okay. The Prime Minister St. Kitts, Dr. Drew, right? Terence Drew. He's a big fan of cricket, man. He supports cricket 100%. I think he's the biggest cricket fan in the Caribbean, from what the statements I've been reading. He's a very supportive about cricket, man.
I think most prime ministers, we love our cricket, because we've all grown up, with Sir Garfield Sobers and the greats playing India, and we were top of the world as a West Indies team.
Yeah.
That was part of our representation of us coming together as a Caribbean region, the West Indies team, unified. We came from Jamaica to Guyana. We had players from across the region, topping the world as some of the best ever in the world.
Yeah, the only name I really could identify was Brian Lara.
Brian Lara is new. He is, one of our recent ones, but.
Yeah. Everyone was talking about Brian Lara back in the 90s, man. Brian Lara's back.
But the CPL is going to continue until September 24th. There are many matches to come. It is dependent on how each team, wins and moves up in the ranks. And I'm rooting for my team. The thing is, the Caribbean Premier League is not just Caribbean West Indies players. it actually draws cricketers from around the world. So it's like club cricket, like club football.
Yeah.
So these are clubs. While they have country names, they're actually like clubs that are actually owned by foreigners. I think the TKR is owned by the famous Shah Rukh Khan, the Indian footballer. I think Gerard Butler, the actor, he owns, and I'm not sure if he owns the Talawas. We have Mark Wahlberg, Marky Mark. I think he owns Barbados.
Can you watch this cricket?
They are investors and they own the teams.
Wow.
We have Zinta. That's another Bollywood actress that owns a team as well.
Okay, that's good.
So
That's good.
we have international sponsors. We have international owners of these club games. It attracts players from India, Pakistan, South Africa, Australia to play on each team. So Caribbean Premier League is really an international game. All eyes are on us this season.
Yes, that's
that
good.
version of the T20, the 2020 version, which is a shortened format. It's speed, it's energetic, it's like a mini party. It's full of adrenaline. Every batsman is hoping to hit the most six and the most fours, to get the crowd all going.
Yes. I'm glad this started. It builds the camaraderie in the region as well. If any sport, it should have been cricket. Cricket and then soccer, football.
Football.
Football. They should have a. Do they have a football league? I don't think so, right?
Not West Indies, but we have an entire. Well, each of our islands has teams.
As teams, the furthest we get in the Bahamas, we have like beach soccer, but otherwise than that, we don't do anything else with soccer here either. And if it wasn't for the Haitians, God bless their soul, we wouldn't be playing soccer at all, to be honest with you. But the Bahamas is just too Americanized. We just don't play the rest of the Caribbean sports. We play basketball and baseball. And speaking of basketball, the Bahamas men's national team, we beat Argentina on Wednesday night. We beat Argentina 101-89, Kim. Argentina is the 4th ranked country in the world when it comes to international basketball. So this is the FIBA's America's qualifiers for the Olympics next year. And so we beat Argentina. We beat Cuba 2 nights ago. We beat Argentina last night. So yeah, we're making big waves, man. We have a lot of international NBA players on our team. We have DeAndre Ayton, a former first-round draft pick back in 2020. And we also have Eric Gordon. We have Michael Thompson, the brother of Klay Thompson, on the team as well. We also have Buddy Hield, the 3-point specialist who plays for the he used to play for the Sacramento Kings. I forget which team Buddy Hield plays for now. We have a lot of NBA stars on the team. So we have a top-ranked team. We were ranked 56 in the world. We beat the number 4 team in Argentina, number 4 team in the world, Argentina, 101-89. That was on Wednesday night. So yeah, we're making some big waves in basketball, Kim. Yeah, I said I was going to talk about it tonight as well because I'm just so proud of our boys, I'm just so proud of them that we actually could do something, And once you put your mind to it, you could get it done. Like how the Barbados Royals and the Jamaican Talawas are making waves in the Caribbean Premier League. And now the West Indies, building off of Garfield Sobers and Brian Lara, they've made waves internationally in cricket. We have a lot of talent here in the Caribbean. It needs to be highlighted, man. So I just want to say congratulations to the Bahamian men's national basketball team for being number 4 Argentina 2 nights ago, 101-89. That's good. That's my 2 cents for the Bahamas, Kim.
Yeah. I mean, sports is good for people. Sports builds that it brings together people to enjoy something. We find that commonality in sports if we are to participate and support our winning teams.
I think the World Track and Field Championships is this going on now too, right? I saw a picture of on someone's page. Whose page? That's Sharika Jackson's page. They're traveling somewhere, and I've been hearing what is it? I've been hearing a lot of chatter on the internet that some of our top sprinters, Shawnee Miller-Weibo, and some of our other sprinters, they've gone away away. Let's see where it is. I'm trying to find the news now. I hate coming to the show unprepared, but anyway, that's how I roll. I'm unprepared. Oh, they're in Hungary now. The 2023 World Athletics Championship is in Hungary, going on right now. Okay, and everyone's over there. So I guess we got to keep an eye out for our Caribbean people, because I guess Sharika Jackson is over there and the entire Jamaican team. And who's the other top sprinter? Lane, what's her name?
In Jamaica.
Yeah, Elaine. What?
Lane Thompson.
Elaine Thompson, right? Yeah, Elaine just escaped me. Elaine Thompson, Sharika Jackson, and those girls over there. So yeah, we got to keep a lookout for our Caribbean people over there in Hungary at the 2023 World Athletics Championships. Because this is leading into the Olympics next year. It seems like we just had Olympics, didn't we?
Yeah, it feels that way.
I think because the COVID-19 really knocked everything out of whack, so they want to have it again next year. So yeah, we just got to keep looking out for it, Kim, and support all of our people. It's going to be a big year in athletics and sports for the Caribbean. A big year. Trust me, 2023 and 2024 are going to be big years for Caribbean sports. We're going to see a lot of stars break out, man. A lot of stars break out. Yeah. So
are you following what's happening in the Dominican Republic, though?
What's happening over there?
Because there's a whole thing with Maui having its fire, and the Dominican Republic had their fire that broke out in a bakery. I think yesterday they actually had a day set aside for a national day of mourning, because I think 27 persons perished in that fire.
Oh, right. I didn't hear about it. No. I have to research that.
Dominican Republic, on Monday, there was a major fire explosion. I think it was in San Cristobal. And 27 people were killed because of that explosion. The explosion occurred at a bakery in the city, which they said is west of the capital of Santo Domingo. So they're not sure as to what exactly caused the explosion, but it's yesterday there was an official day of mourning where all flags at the state agencies were flown at half-mast.
My condolences to people who lost their lives in that fire, though. Yeah. That's tragic.
I mean, it's sad to hear something like that. In Hawaii, they're counting at least 900 persons missing.
Yeah. It's amazing, man. I think they have over 100 people already dead, confirmed dead, right?
Yeah. They have at least 90 people confirmed.
Confirmed dead, yeah.
And it's really sad. It's really heartbreaking for an entire city to have just been destroyed. Today, the chief police officer, he resigned.
He resigned, yep.
He could not explain why he did not sound the emergency signal. He said that would have been because of a tsunami, but I think he contradicted. The reports say he contradicted what is stated on the government agency site, which says that the emergency signal bell, it rings in cases of wildfires as well.
Okay. So, I also saw a report as well, but they said that where he was quoted saying that the alarm would have sent people towards the fire rather than sending them away from the fire. I'm not sure how it really works over there with the alarm system, but that's what he was quoted saying, that if the alarm had rung, it would have sent people towards the fire rather than sending people away. Because
they would have been going toward the hillsides.
Yeah, right. The
tsunami. But I think I think some level of common sense would have been seen. You should have alerted people. You could have saved lives. At least do all that you can.
Yeah. I think he probably did. These things are disasters. These things are tragic. And sometimes people just don't know how to act. I know we pay them to act in these kinds of situations, right? But sometimes these things are just what they are. Just unfortunate situations that happen. And there's nothing much people really can do. So I mean, I know he had to resign. It's good that he resigned to get out of the way and let fresh eyes look at it, right? But still, we shouldn't really fault him for that.
I mean,
that's what I think.
In a situation like this, I guess there has to be a fall guy because so many lives have been lost.
Yeah.
Someone has to be responsible. If you're responsible for emergency response, someone has to be held accountable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it has to be him.
History will go down with his name written in the book.
Yep. As a guy
and how he responded.
Yes, right. Indeed.
So that's one issue. I saw today there's some big news happening. This is world news here, that President Biden held talks with the president of Japan and the leader of South Korea at Camp David today.
Oh, yes.
And while they are denying that it has anything to do with the plans for China and North Korea, we know for a fact that China is taking this meeting serious. They should. And I believe so. It comes across as the United States formalizing ties with these neighboring nations in the East. In the event something were to happen with Taiwan, we know that China has been flexing its arms towards Taiwan, Taiwan being an integral and important state to the American economy because it manufactures quite a good bit of its microchips that is, in manufacturing and industrialized sector in the United States is electronics and everything. We saw the downfall of this during the pandemic when microchips were not able to come during the pandemic due to supply and demand and shipping issues. And America was left in a handicapped situation where many of their appliances, cars would not be able to sell. So, I mean, America is trying to protect its assets. Even though President Biden says he's solidifying these relations going forward, hoping that these two nations will continue to meet with him every year annually.
Yeah, that means he's prepping for war, isn't he? Right? At least they have to be precautions. They have to take precautions, you know. They have to take precautions. I don't think anyone should be surprised that the United States is taking this approach towards dealing with China. But here's the thing, though, Kim. China's been making increasing moves towards Latin America, and I was reading an article on Caribbean Magazine Plus where it says that as a result of China's authoritarian regime, it gives them the impetus, it gives them the strength to actually move very aggressively in Latin America because they could spend money hand over fist in Latin America, like that $20 billion bridge from Honduras to China. I'd love to see that, Kim. I still can't go. That still freaks me out. I can't wait to see that. Yeah, apparently we're saying the Caribbean Magazine Plus is reporting that based on the Council of America's report, China's relationship with the LSE is long-term given regional requirements for investment in capital and mutual trade interests. They say despite the relative newness of China's international engagement, especially over the last 20 years, China has rapidly become the top trade partner for most of the South America and a significant and growing investor throughout the Latin American Caribbean region, particularly across sectors and nations identified by Beijing as strategic. It is unrealistic to suggest that China's desire to continue expanding ties with the region will wane, or that the region itself would desire or work towards such an outcome. Yeah, it's just going to keep getting worse. So while China is investing more money and more resources in Latin America and the Caribbean, United States is doing the same with, formalizing ties, like how you said, with Japan and South Korea, trying to give a counterbalance to China in the South China Sea and with regard to Taiwan. So it's shaping up to be another geopolitical war, and we're smack dab in the middle of it,
Yeah. But I think today's Camp David meeting, while they're saying it's not really focused on military and stuff, it's more on the technology initiatives.
Oh God, yeah, right.
Business and trade, things like that. But I know that they are going to need to formalize all allies in the East in the event China does flex its arms.
Yes, indeed. That goes for Australia, that goes for New Zealand. That goes for South Korea. That goes.
I'm not sure Japan. If anyone from the British or the Commonwealth will be willing to step up as much.
Yeah, most likely Australia would send put ships around Taiwan if need be, or they'll open their country up to bases in the South China Sea.
I guess,
and the Philippines as well. The Philippines as well too. They've always been good allies. They're not anti-America. The Philippines is. America has been in the Philippines several times, so they're not anti-America, I think. But yeah, but everyone knows that people go to Camp David for war talks. I mean, that's what Camp David was actually designed for, to actually talk about peace and to talk about war. And you can't talk about peace unless you talk about war. So it was designed to facilitate meetings between Israel and the Palestinians, right? But then it developed into something a lot more diplomatic center, more or less, right? To talk about things like this. So it's kind of funny now to see it shift now into a more international stage, an international platform, an international forum, I should say, to discuss other regional conflicts, because it was built specifically and designed specifically for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Now they're using it for the Chinese and South Asian conflicts now. Or not, there's not even a conflict yet. It's just they're using it now to stave off a conflict, a possible conflict. Your mic's muted, Kim.
It's actually preparation, and it's Biden's first meeting at Camp David. It's the first time he's had cause to have host a meeting at Camp David.
Oh wow!
So
It
yeah,
shows you how important China is to his administration.
well, they are also in debt to the Chinese government with trillions of dollars.
Yeah,
America
yeah.
is in debt to China.
And I saw a report just then recently that today actually that the Chinese have been hiding their unemployment statistics. It means the Chinese economy could be a lot weaker than what people think it is. So they're expecting the Chinese economy to crash because they've been hiding this unemployment data, and so it's not as strong as people think that it is, and so it's leading to a possible downslide in the next 6 months. That things aren't as strong as people think it should be in China.
Yeah.
And so a lot of investors in China need to start pulling their money out because it could hit rock bottom. There are people are saying that it could have their quote unquote Lehman Brothers moment. The quote unquote Lehman. Remember what happened to Lehman Brothers in 2008 financial crisis, where Lehman Brothers collapsed and everything else collapsed, the financial system collapsed. They're calling it their Lehman moment. They're hiding this, their unemployment statistics now. It's showing that China's economy is a lot more weaker. It's a lot weaker than what they actually say it is. I can believe that because the authoritarian regime in China, they really do hide some of this information. They think it's shameful to let people see that their country is weak. But if that's what it is. It is what it is. If there's problems, then maybe showing people that you have a problem, people can actually give you some advice on how to go around fixing it before it actually crashes on everybody. Because now China is so wrapped up with everybody else. If China fails, then a lot of other countries could fail along with it, Kim. And that's a situation where the Chinese people the Chinese government doesn't really understand.
It is. It would be very detrimental even for Caribbean region.
Of course.
Much of us our loans are from China business. Backings are from the East. So yeah.
Can you imagine that $20 billion bridge being halfway done from China to Honduras, and Honduras leveraging itself, thinking that they're going to get support from the Chinese government? All of a sudden, the Chinese government collapse.
Oh, I would hate to see that.
Yeah, I would hate to see it too, Kim. But that's the kind of situation that they're putting most people in. They're trying to put the Latin American countries in this position where they're indebted to them when their economy is shaking themselves. So this is a very tenuous time for China. I took the warning very seriously because when you're hiding unemployment data, unemployment data is a key significant indicator to how strong and vibrant an economy is. It shows consumer spending. It shows how strong their dollar is. It shows how investment is going to play out for the next several months or even a whole year. So if unemployment is weak, that means people aren't investing money. That means new businesses aren't popping up. That means new factories aren't going up. That means cities aren't thriving properly. That means new things aren't going up. Nothing new is happening. There's no growth. And what are we really doing over here? That means you're either in a recession or you're on the brink of a collapse. Okay? So we have to be very, very careful and very, very concerned as we watch this, because we just can't watch the United States economy anymore. We have to watch China's economy as well, and the European Union as a whole. So these are things you have to keep our eye on, Kim, for the Caribbean.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Moving to something a little lighter. I know it's Friday evening. I usually like to go liming. Friday evening culture here in Trinidad. It's usually liming by your favorite watering hole.
Oh, yeah.
It's at least on the avenue here, Arapita Avenue and places like that. You find yourself by the bear garden.
Okay.
And talking about that, I'm not sure if you're a fan of Guinness, but St. Vincent and the Grenadines was actually ranked the holder of the best Guinness in the Americas manufacturer.
Really?
Yeah.
The best Guinness manufacturer. Wow.
Yeah. So it was measured against 54 breweries across the world who usually brew Guinness to participate in this Guinness League of Excellence, GLEW. And this year's results show that the best Guinness comes from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They're saying it's calculated on a few different scores: technical flavor, brand flavor, pack dress, codex compliance, and analytical compliance.
Wow. They made the best. I thought it would be uniform straight across the board. But I'll tell you something though, Kim. Our Guinness here in the Bahamas tastes like bitters. It's a horrible Guinness, and people drink it a lot, but it's a horrible Guinness here. I have to admit. And the sweetest Guinness I've ever tasted was when I was in the United Kingdom, when I was in London, and they had the Guinness on draft. It's actually almost a sweet taste, you know.
Yes,
It's not so bitter.
so.
It's a smooth taste.
The one coming from tap, I think, tastes much different from the one on a bottle, right?
Yeah, much different, man. You know, and then it has a sweeter, maltier flavor as well. It's not so bitter. It's not so dry. You actually can drink several of them at one time. But it's not good to drink too much Guinness though, because apparently it raises your blood pressure.
Yeah. If you have low blood pressure, they advise you to drink Guinness to get it back up.
Yeah, or if you donated blood, they actually drink a Guinness after you donated blood. Yeah.
So it's something a blood builder. I know that a recipe is that you blend Guinness with a few raw eggs and you gulp that down, and it helps give you that energy. Something to that.
I can't eat raw eggs though. I heard about people eat
I can't. But it's something done.
I know.
It even with orange juice. So the orange juice actually kills that
orange juice and Guinness. That sounds like such a weird mix.
And eggs.
Okay. But you know what my favorite drink was back in the day, Kim? My favorite drink back in the day when I was in my liming day, I liked my Guinness with a bit of Mr. Boston eggnog. So I would top my Guinness off with a bit of Mr. Boston eggnog. And trust me, I drink a whole mug, you know, those large mugs. I just get a half pint of Mr. Boston eggnog, pour it in the bottom, and then pour my Guinness on top of it, put some ice on it. That's my Christmas drink and my actually I started drinking that from about October. That's my Halloween, my end of year drink. So I'll have my Guinness and Mr. Boston eggnog straight off the top. You know, I love that for my end of year drink. And there's also too, they make this thing. I think the Haitians call it what do they call it? Creamers. You ever tasted creamers before?
Not sure.
Creamers. I think you guys call it another name. It's almost like a. Say it again.
We have something called a brown cow.
Brown cow. Yeah, that could be that. Could be that. Yeah, it almost tastes like eggnog, a Swedish kind of milky, kind of flavory kind of drink.
Oh, Christmas season we make something called punch de crème.
Punch de crème. That's the name. Punch de crème. You got it. Punch de crème.
I know I submitted a recipe for Caribbean Magazine Plus.
Yes, you did. Punch de crème. I love that. That's straight across the Southern Caribbean. I heard people from St. Vincent and Grenadines talking about punch de crème. I heard people from St. Kitts talking about punch de crème.
But it's made with our local punch and rum, which is not allowed to leave these shores legally.
Oh, wow.
There's 70% alcohol.
Oh wow.
Proof.
But you got to tell people in St. Kitts and St. Vincent and Grenadines stop making punch de crème things. They love it.
You can make it with just white rum. Okay. So my recipe, you would have actually seen a nip of the Forest Park rum, along with an entire 750 ml of white rum.
Okay.
And I ensure my eggs are pasteurized. I put my condensed milk, a lot of nutmeg, and my lemon zest to take out the freshness. Of course, bitters is a key part of it.
So you put in your lemon zest?
Yes, I make sure I put my lemon zest to take all that freshness, and it's there. And every Christmas I make it, I share it.
Yeah.
Packs a good punch, and you're left catching yourself afterwards. But I mean that's fun of the Christmas season, drinking your punch de crème. And I'm proud of my punch de crème. I must. And some people like it. Some people say, "Oh God, it's too strong, Kimberly."
You know, I've never tasted it yet. I'd love to taste a punch de crème, but if it's anything like creamers or eggnog, you know, I love it.
Eggnog, it's similar to eggnog, but we put a lot of nutmeg. Everything is nutmeg. And our Angostura bitters, I think, makes a difference.
Okay.
Right.
So that's what we're liming tonight, right, Kim? Another thing too, we're having our Goombay Summer Festival again tonight. So we've been having Goombay Summer Festival on our main Bay Street. And so that's been happening all August now. So they're out there tonight. My cousin was supposed to come for me tonight, but I told her I have to do the show here. And you have to come for me after 9 o'clock. She said she can't come after 9 o'clock, so I'm not going to go out there. I've missed every last single one. But anyway, that's all right.
Goombay, though. I mean, what is that festival? Yeah.
Goombay, it's you ever heard of a Jumbi? A Jumbi spirit?
A Jumbie spirit.
Jumbie spirit. That's just our Bahamianization of a Jumbie spirit. Gumbe and Jumbe is the same thing.
So you all go and participate calling these Jumbie spirits.
Yeah. Gumbe festival, yeah. It's just a festival. It's just like a festival, a lot of music, a lot of food, a lot of walking around. It's not like jumping at all. It's like a real park kind of festival. And so they brought it back. Yeah, yeah.
So this week is the Grenada Spice Mass. Spice Mass is
Spice Mass? Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of my friends from Trinidad, a lot of my friends here have gone across to participate in this year's Spice Mass. They kicked off Monday with their Juve celebrations. You know, they had their jabs and come out with, you know, covered in oil and yeah, they were having a good time.
I saw a picture of Deacon Mitchell wind up on something, man. He was out and loose. Yeah, someone sent me say this, and someone said they were very upset. It is deplorable for a leader of a country to be out there winding up on something like that. He had the girl bent over, and he was right there right behind that truck, that bumper. That's Deacon Mitchell for you right there. Tight pants, Deacon Mitchell, my boy.
Yeah. I mean, I guess part of the spirit. I mean, we had our Prime Minister Raleigh playing mass here a few years ago.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was caught winding up on a young girl too. Yeah.
How do you feel about that though? You think that's just part of the culture or what?
At the time she was 17, she was underage, and I didn't find it was appropriate. So I mean, if it's not any other woman, once you're over age, yeah, you're free to do whatever the heck you want to do.
Yeah, it was a 17-year-old girl. Wow. You know. But our politicians over here, they enjoy jumping, but our jumping was not as, I would say, not as like sensuous as a carnival or a juve. We don't get as naked, and essentially it's about the dance and the costume, to be honest with you. So there's not a lot of gyrations and not a lot of nakedness inside our jumping festival. So our politicians, they feel free to join in on that, you know. And there's a rich tradition of all of our politicians joining in on our jumping festival. But you know, I could see where you would find that it could be kind of inappropriate to have, you know, your prime minister winding up on somebody's young girl.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think he's the first I've seen do that. I mean, people have commented on Kamala dancing among the other CARICOM leaders when she was in Jamaica, but I think that was all in the spirit of fun.
Yeah.
Streets Carnival is a different thing. Everybody blames the festival.
Oh, yeah.
They blame the season.
Yeah.
Revelry and their behavior.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. It's kind of raucous, you know. It's kind of raunchy.
Yeah.
Speaking of another raunchy festival, did you have this Mocha Fest in Houston?
No.
Yeah, this Mocha Fest happened about 2 months ago in Houston. Videos now popping out of people doing all kinds of nasty stuff. But you heard about Freak Nick in Atlanta before, right?
What's that?
You heard about the Freak Nick in Atlanta?
No.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, you're all the way down south. You don't really pay attention to North American news, but Freak Nick in Atlanta is a very disgusting and raunchy and like sensuous festival they used to have in Atlanta. They stopped it now because it was just too, you know, dirty, just too fresh, just too forward. And now so they've started another festival in Houston called the Mocha Fest. Now videos have popped up of people just having sex in the middle of the street, man. It's really just a disgusting festival, man.
Yeah, that's really horrible. I mean, you'll see Trinidadians whining and gyrating on each other, but to be, you know, doing it like that, no, that's just
crazy. I can't do that, Kim. I mean, that's what people go to that for. I find it very distasteful, man. You know, very distasteful. I couldn't do that in the open like that. I got too much class. I got too much pride, man. I couldn't do it like that in the open. But you know, let me know if anyone else is fun. But still, though, now you're having videos pop up now with people acting like that. So it's not going to be long before the authorities stop that festival as well, the Mocha Fest. Just look up on the Mocha Fest and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
That sounding like that Spring Fest that they usually go down Florida and have that free reign to do anything they want.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's human nature in that sense.
Yeah. Like not everyone's built with the same kind of restrictions that we've grown up with. You know, we've grown up with a bit of class and distinction and a bit of reservation as well in our spirit, right? We wouldn't be caught up there doing that. You know, when they first brought Carnival into Bahamas, I was kind of like against it too, you know, because it's not our thing. You know, it's just not our thing. That's not our culture. Bahamians don't even like to go to the beach and take their clothes off. Because can you imagine them at Carnival? All of these spark plugs over here in the Bahamas, and these flabby guts girls.
Well, tomorrow here in Trinidad, we actually have our great race. I'm not sure if you've
What's
ever
that?
heard of a great race. Great race is with our speedboats.
Oh, okay, that should be fun.
Yeah, so it's speedboats. They're zooming across from Trinidad to Tobago.
Mhm.
Usually, most crowds are packed across the shores of Trinidad and Tobago. Stowaway is usually their landing point, and it usually starts off in Chagaramas, which is on our western peninsula, northern western peninsula of Trinidad. It starts off with the yacht club there, and they start off really early in the morning. And it's really we look forward to see which speedboat is going to top. It's usually been Mr. Solo. He has been one of the long-standing top performers. 1 year ago, a few years ago actually, we had I'm part of our San Fernando Yacht Club, and we actually had a boat from the San Fernando Yacht Club, Paramount One. So I was kind of proud of it because I see them always pulling out the boat, and they're checking the engines and everything, and just zooming it across right within the Gulf of Paria, right at our yacht club. So
you're going to enjoy, you're going to watch.
in times gone by, my family would have been there. My family is usually in Tobago, and they go and watch in Stowaway. However, I'm not able to head out, so I'll just be watching it from television, looking at what the helicopter feeds are bringing me, who's reaching furthest.
I got you.
And what's happening.
Sounds like a whole festival there, man.
The course is about 90 miles from Trinidad to Tobago.
Really?
And they have to make their way through the Bocas, which is those islands. It's very dangerous. The waters are a little more rough, and they have, in order to reach the finish line.
I guess you got to watch out for sandbars as well too, right?
I'm not sure. I don't think all waters are pretty deep, and they're good there.
Okay, good. That's fine. That sounds like a lot of fun though, Kim. I can imagine all the vendors. I can imagine people line up on the beach and the vendors on the beach. Yeah.
We used to, as a child, I used to head out with my aunts and my family. We'd line up in Chagaramas, and for the entire day, you go out early in the morning to watch the boats head out, just across in front of your eye. And a few seconds they pass. It's a good bit of them. They have different categories, but they pass. And it's because it's okay. We're there from early in the morning, but you're liming there for the rest of the day by the beach, cooking, eating, having a good time.
Well, that sounds like fun, man.
And waiting for the results from Tobago to see who came out on top.
All right. That should come out soon. When should you be getting results? By this evening or tomorrow morning?
Oh, you get it within a few. It's usually about an hour or so. Within 2 hours or so, they get it. You get the proper results within 2 hours.
Is it like a proper tourist thing? If people come down and travel to watch the races or no?
People, it's long standing. It's been around for decades. We have boats coming in from Florida, but it's mostly locals participating.
Okay.
A lot of foreigners do come to watch, even nearby islanders. They come and watch as well. I think the fastest time ever clocked was 47 minutes.
Wow.
So yeah,
over 90 miles.
Yeah.
That's pretty fast.
That's pretty fast. So you could imagine how fast they're flying over the waters, basically. You just see them, jumping over the waters. I know you all have a yachting industry, so I'm not sure how much you all are into the speedboats, though.
Yeah, we're just not getting into the speedboats now. I mean, it's been a thing, but no one really had the money to invest in those speedboats. Now you're seeing more people getting involved in it now. So we're having speedboats every other, I would say every other 6 months or so, they'll have some kind of race. They had the rum run during the Independence holiday as well. And so they had several speedboats that had the rum run between Nassau to Exuma and back. And so they've been having fun with these things, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had it since the 80s or so. Or perhaps before, but it's usually something to see. It's really amazing to see these power boats. These are really powerful boats. You hear the engines roar, and it really gets your adrenaline pumping. Seeing those boats, hitting the water and coming back down. It flies up in the air and drops back down.
Have you ever been on one before?
What's that?
Have you ever been on one before? Take a
Yes,
ride?
I have.
Okay, yeah,
It really
huh?
gets your heart going, you know.
I know. It does. It does. I've been in a powerboat before as well too, man. It's fun. You have to watch out that you have to hold everything down because it could fly off the boat.
Yeah.
They're
But
fun.
that's the fun in it. I enjoy that. Yeah.
So Kim, that's us, man. Any final thoughts?
Just to enjoy the weekend as a typical Caribbean person or two. Just
Yeah.
be safe despite our weather. I'm
Yeah.
concerned about those boats with the weather that they're supposed to have. But hoping all
Mhm.
goes well early enough before the weather changes.
I hope so as well. So yeah, I just want to tell everyone to please like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. Please like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page, LimeVibe77. That's LimeVibe77 on Facebook and YouTube. And please hit the subscribe button and like and share our content. It really helps us to get our message out there. And also, in the description, there is a donate link. So if you click on that, you can give to the LimeVibe podcast, anything that moves your heart to give to us. We really would appreciate your support to help keeping this machine going. So thank you for joining us again for another LimeVibe Live podcast. This is Yori Cap, signing off on behalf of Kimberly Ramcallan from Trinidad and Tobago. We'll see you again on Monday. Have a good night, everybody. Let's get our music cranking, Kim. Get out of here.